Hi,
Welcome
everybody,
back.
and welcome to another edition of Collard Greens and Sushi.
And Sushi. We are
Yes,
here.
she's Kelsey. I'm Melinda. Welcome back, Kelsey. What's going on?
Literally, I was like, let me jump into this. Literally, just jump into this. So, um, friendships. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Just new friendships. I am definitely along the lines of Drake, no new friends for the most part. And I'm not a fan of Drake either. Full
Right.
disclaimer, because I have a friend that would she hates Drake with a passion. She hates him. Like if yeah, she really hates him. So I'm not a Drake fan.
Right.
Um I'm more on the Kendrick side if I have to pick. But I definitely am along the lines of no new friends for the simple fact that I have had so many bad experiences. I'm gonna put it with, specifically speaking, Japanese people,
Okay.
since I became a mother. So I'm not saying it's a monolith, not all Japanese people. No, I have some great Japanese friends and I have met some really awesome Japanese people. But um since becoming a mom, I have had some crazy, crazy experiences with people that want to be your friend. Usually they'll try to be your friend through your kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, they always want something for the most part. They want their kid to speak English, or they want to be friends with you because of maybe what they feel like you could offer them or your child could offer them. You may have access to other foreign friends,
Right.
or it just seems cool.
Right.
And that is upsetting because, like usually kids want to be friends with kids because they just want to be friends.
Right.
They like
Right.
their personality.
Right.
So I say all this to say, what I wanted to tell you is that I'm going to go meet a new friend today.
Okay. Okay.
So Coral has a little girl that she played with at the park with her grandmother. She loves this little girl. She's in her class.
Aw.
This little girl has tissue that smells like fruits. So, that's real cool when
Of
you
course. Of
when you're
course.
in school, you got the
Of
special
course.
tissue
Anything that's markers, like I always wanted the
yes.
scented markers. I don't think I ever got the scented markers, but let me tell you, like when they were in a classroom, I was like, oh my God, blueberry. Blueberries don't smell like that. But yes. So I get it. That's a kid thing. That's a kid thing. That big on the smells. Big on the
Yeah,
smell.
so she has been asking to play with this little girl for the longest, and I went out on a limb and I sent a little memo with the little origami thing that Coral made, and I put my line email address in there for the mom, and she hit me back right away.
Okay.
And now coming back to that, this is
Okay.
the other thing. She's also one of the moms that has katakana my child's name.
Oh, it's this one.
Yes, she's one of them. She's one. So there's a group
Okay.
of the parents, and then you don't kind of really know who's who because it doesn't say like so and so's mom. It just
Right.
says whatever their line name, and their line name could be Panda Lover 3 or
Right.
something Ami 25 or something like that. So you don't really know unless they have a picture of the kid. But then again, I don't know what the kid looks like, so it
Okay.
doesn't help because we're very new in this stage of elementary
Right,
school.
right, right. You just started. I get it.
Right. So I noticed that she has replied back in katakana. And so anyway, there's no bad feeling to start off with because I haven't met the lady. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go meet her and her daughter today. She had wanted to play during Golden Week. We had plans and we were available. They had plans. And she sent me a message last night that was like, this is really short notice, but we're free tomorrow. My schedule's free. So would you like to play? And so, yeah, we're going to see. But I'm really trying to like woosah. So any words of wisdom as I guess I could say more veteran mother is how they would say in
Yes.
Japan. Because I'm no new friends. I told you, no, especially
So,
when it comes to Mama Tomo in
right.
Japan.
Well, that's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, I think, and I am also, I'm not a Drake fan, but I understand what Kelsey's saying about no new friends. I very much, I talk about this all the time, how much I love my friends. Kelsey, you know how much I love you.
Mhm.
I call you my sister because you are my sister. We're not related, but we're not related by blood, but we related by spirit. You are my sister.
Yeah.
You're gonna forever be my sister. Um, my circle's good. I have good people in my life. I got my circle. I'm good. I'll
Hmm.
say that I'm always open to connection, and I
Yeah.
believe in
Okay.
things growing organically. I believe in things um that are meant to be, they'll be. If I'm meant to have someone new come into the circle, like Siobhan is someone
Hmm.
new who's come into my circle,
Yeah.
um, as compared to you, as compared to Ronell, as compared to Brian, she's
Hmm.
someone new, but that relationship grew organically. It was
Hmm.
genuine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think when you go into relationships when it comes to your children,
Hmm.
I think you have to remember that at the end of the day, this is your children's friendship. It's not your friendship. You know,
That
this
is
is
so true.
just
That's a good way.
another
Hmm.
parent. This is just another parent, and our kids are friends. Just because our kids are friends doesn't mean we got to be friends. We're
Mm.
cool. We're associates. If I know, our
Facts.
kids have a good relationship and I can trust you for my kid to be over there, I have your information, I got your number, I know who to call, we make a schedule. But just because our friends are kids doesn't mean we gonna hang out. Like, I think sometimes
Yeah.
people feel like, oh, because me and the kids are friends, that means me and the mom has to be friends, or me and the dad have to be friends, and that's not it. And I'm very big also about, I don't call everybody my friend.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
my philosophy about friendship is, friends are the family you make for yourself. You can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. You could choose, and even sometimes with family, it's like you could choose not to have a relationship with your family, but very much so, I believe that your friends are the family you make for yourself. That is a very conscious decision. And for me, a friend, that's a title that I don't give to anybody. Just like I wouldn't call any guy I'm with my husband. I wouldn't call
Mm.
any guy I'm with my boyfriend. No, that's a title reserved for someone special. I don't call everybody my friend. I'll say, yeah, we're cool. Oh, I had a good time. Same thing with my coworkers. I'm not somebody who calls my coworkers my friends. Now, do I
Mm.
have coworkers who have evolved into friendships? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. But
Yeah.
no, I see you. You're my colleague. Did we have a great time on that layover? Yes, we did. Do we have so many memories? Yes, we do. Do I have picture evidence? Yes, I do. Would I call you if there was an emergency and you had to be with my children? Hell no, I wouldn't. That's a friend. I'm not
Wait, wait,
calling you.
wait. So speaking of emergencies, I don't want to forget because I want to ask you about
Yeah,
just like the airports these days because
yeah.
we've been seeing all sorts of stuff on the news. Squirrel. Um. So I want to come back to that in a minute,
Yeah.
but yes, I see where you're going with
You
this.
know?
So I need to remind myself, like, just because the kids are friends, we don't really have to be
Yeah,
friends.
yeah. Like I said, I think it's good to have I'm very big about the tiers. I
Hmm.
hold certain tiers with people. Like I said, okay, this is somebody that I see in the neighborhood. I say hello, that's my neighbor. Again, we're not hanging out. I see someone in the neighborhood, I've got, she brings me the recipe, like, here, brought these from my garden. Thank you. That doesn't mean we're going to
Oh,
dinner. You know what I'm saying? It's
that's
like,
sweet though.
there's
Yeah. See,
tiers
I
for
would be like,
people.
she brought me the recipe. She about to be my best friend. Because I love a good recipe. And
No,
then
no.
I'll be all
No.
disappointed later when
And
we're
that's
not
the
best
thing.
friends.
I'm appreciative of the
Mm-hmm.
recipe. I'm
Mm-hmm.
appreciative of the hello. Like, I love it. If I say hello, I love getting a hello back. I'm definitely, all the time, I be like, hi, these mean our grumpy Armenian men don't want to say nothing. They be like, and I still be like, hi, good morning,
I have that man in my
in my
neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Yeah, same one.
But
Mm-hmm.
again, it doesn't mean that we're gonna hang out. Like I said, even the same thing with my coworkers. I have colleagues who I would definitely hang out with, and there are colleagues that I want nothing to do with. Does that mean that the colleagues who I hang out with are my friends? Not necessarily. I still view them as my colleagues.
You said nothing to do with.
No. So I mean, just because we work together don't mean we friends. Don't mean we cool. It's the same thing. I think, again, you look at relationships, whether they're friendships, whether it's business, whether it's romantic, even family. You want genuine, organic relationships. You don't want to force anything, and that's why you do have the resistance, because guess what? You were forcing yourself to, Mama Chan's over here, and I got to do the mom thing, and we have to do the tea. And no. When you force yourself to do shit you don't want to do, it will always backfire on you. It will always backfire, and not necessarily it's going to blow up in my face, but you're going to feel drained. You're going to be stressed out. Don't force yourself to do anything that's not in your spirit to do, So
that is true. I think I was kind of looking at it the wrong way, because I was just like, oh,
yeah,
I got to do this. And I hate, there's like formalities, and then I don't know what it's going to be like. And there's no way to really research beforehand. And, my child doesn't know anything. She just knows that the little girl has the tissue that smells like the blueberries and the strawberries. And she gave her some tissues, and now they're best friends.
They're best friends. Right.
And
but you know what? Let that be the focal point. Yes, there are formalities when you're meeting someone new, and yes, there's kind of a social interaction that you have to do, but reframe it in the sense where you're taking the focus off of that and put the focus on the fact that your daughter got a best friend. That's awesome. That's great.
That's
that's what you want to make the number one focus. Like, oh my gosh, I love how they play together. Oh my gosh, they play so well together. Oh my gosh, this little girl loves my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, let that be the focus. And then all that other stuff is it's going to be so minute if you just reframe your thinking. That's really all I think a lot of things are. Like, when we go through stuff, and even for myself, it's like, I've been stressed about money. And I had to kind of reframe my thinking, because if you don't reframe it, it's like you'll go down that rabbit hole, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, And don't get me wrong, it's still some parts where I'm just like, gotta have this conversation. Now I don't want to have this conversation. But when I reframe it, I'm like, well, you know what? I set a plan up. I did this. I did that. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling better. All right, today's a new. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It helps, because it helps with your peace of mind, So
very much so, very much so.
Don't stress yourself.
That is true. So just put on my big girl panties. Yep.
Yeah.
And just be like Nike. Just do it and keep that in mind. Yeah, I keep that in mind. Definitely. I definitely agree with what you're saying there. Well, that was really just what was right when we came onto here. That was like right in the
back of your mind, yeah.
No, in the frontal. It was right. It was like here, like and I've had some experiences. People want to come to your house and see what your house looks like as a foreigner. They want to eat your food. They want to borrow, aka steal, forget to return, various things.
Right.
That they see that they want to go shopping with you. And I get the cultural aspect of it, where they want to learn about, but it's a friendship is give and take. It's not just like take,
Right. And
don't use my child.
To say, like, I get that. I think I've been in a situation like that when I was living in Japan, only it was my student. It was my students' family. Like, they were very much about, oh my gosh, it worked. But I feel like I never let it go past the fact that at the end of the day, this is my student. This is my student. I get it. Maybe they kind of thought it was a little different. Like, my student ended up being in my wedding. They literally ended up flying to New York to be in my wedding.
That's wild.
So it's like, But
That's pretty cool.
I'm still like, well, this is my student, like
Yeah.
my students,
And
it's in my
I
way.
get that. Like, you can sometimes have really great friendships, because I do have a student, someone I formerly taught, and they're a great friend. Their wife is a great friend. I'm so happy that they met each other. Their
Right,
kid is a great friend. So that can totally occur, with students and in certain,
right.
environments. But I think maybe just the past experiences, the most
Yeah.
recent ones, have been bad, where I'm just like, and you ever encounter those people that, like, you don't ever want to meet them again, and so
Yes. Yes.
you just kind of avoid certain places because you, like,
Yes.
they frequent this place, and I don't want to
Yes.
ever
Yeah.
see them
For
again.
me, it's mainly on the airplane.
Oh, okay.
It's mainly on the airplane for me. But no, even so I'm not I I may have children, and I'll say this with my whole chest. I have children, but just because I have children doesn't mean that I like your children. I mean, not saying you, but like people think like, oh, she's a mother. Like, oh,
Yeah.
she's so dedicated her to her kids, so she must love kids. No, I like my kids. That's why I had kids. I had my own kids because I can raise my kids the way I want to raise my kids. I can't raise your kids. And some of
Yeah.
y'all don't need to be parents. I have to say it.
Some
Like,
of them,
am I?
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna come off real judgy, and I don't give a shit. Some of y'all out there don't need to be parents, and then you wonder
Mm.
why the world has so many assholes. It's because of y'all. It's because of
Yeah, or
y'all.
just some of them, they don't need to be, or they can't be. They're
I
not
don't
invested
even want to
enough.
say they can't be. They just didn't need to be parents. And it's so funny. Like, girl,
Mhm.
I talk to so especially some of these young girls that I fly with, and
Mhm.
I tell them, I'm like, let me tell you something. You know, I've run into this thing where I see, especially on social media, these mothers, confessing how, I really, I like the idea, the concept of being a mom, but I didn't
Mhm.
want it to be my whole life, and da 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 da, and having
Mhm.
these regrets, and da 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 da
Oh,
da,
wow.
you know, and I can empathize, but I don't understand because for me, I always knew I was going to be a mother. Being a
Mm.
mother is innate in me. It's
Yeah.
just something that is in me. When
Mhm.
people are like, oh, well, is that your greatest achievement, or you don't want to think bigger? I'm like, for me, because I'm actually walking in my purpose as a mother, no, there's nothing that's going to compare. I don't care if you give me a
Mhm.
goddamn Oscar. Nothing compares to those two kids. Those are my
What
greatest
about an EGOT?
achievements. And I
What
mean
about an
that.
EGOT?
But
What
for
about an
other,
EGOT?
exactly, exactly.
No.
But for other women, they don't want that. Their biggest
Mm.
achievement is running that company or writing that
Yeah,
book,
that's true.
or and that's wonderful. And that's why I tell these girls now, I'm like, please, 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 if it's truly not in you, if it's really not in you to be a parent, and I really do mean, if it's not in the depths of your soul to be a parent, don't do it.
Mhm.
Don't do it. Be the cool auntie. Be the cool best friend to
Yeah.
to someone else who wants to be a parent. Like,
Mhm.
be that person, be that support system, be that community. Don't do it because society's telling you to do it, or your parents are saying, when am I going to have a grandchild, or you do it because you want to keep that man, or you do it because, well, no, I think it would be wonderful, and oh, but I work really well with children. Just because you work well, that's the complete opposite. Just because you work well with kids doesn't mean you're going to do your own kids the way they need to be done. It's
Yeah.
like those types of things that I see all the time, especially it's a particular demographic of women. Well, I'm just gonna say it. It's usually it is white women, and I'm just gonna put, and y'all, this ain't no, it's not a diss to y'all. I'm not saying it's every white woman. I'm not saying that because somebody's gonna be like, it's not. I'm just saying this particular chain of videos that I continue to see about
Oh,
them
that you
saying
see on
they
TikTok.
regret being
Yeah,
a
that it
parent.
seems to be.
They regret they, and
Really?
again, they're not saying that they don't love their kids. They're not saying that, but them saying that putting motherhood number one was not what they wanted in life. And they want to go back
Mm.
to their old life and how they were before then and da 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 da. It's usually white women saying.
Interesting. My algorithm is so weird. My algorithm is
Yeah,
like cooking videos,
yeah.
old people in their outfits. They're like senior citizens in their fashion coordinate of the
I
day.
don't get those.
And political stuff,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
book lady, and what else did I have recently? Oh, my man that dances, my Toru dance,
Girl,
my
you
Japanese.
still didn't send me that man. Y'all, she
Oh,
said
I
she
gotta
was going
send it to you.
to
I
class room.
love
She ain't
him.
sent me that man. I can't find that man
He's my
dancing.
best
I
friend. He
don't know
just
where
doesn't know
he
yet.
at.
You know
He
how people be fangirling when like you're either your bias or your
yeah,
person, someone you like comments back to you.
yeah.
Okay, so Toru Dance, he commented when I said I don't remember what I said exactly, but I said something and he commented back and I felt like I was seeing he's not my idol or anything like that. But I
Oh,
love this
Lord.
Japanese man
Here go
dancing. So
Kelsey fangirling over this
yes,
old man dancing, y'all. Like, help her.
he just when he get out of Tokyo Station and just start dancing. But let me tell you,
Just start dancing.
I totally get it. So
Yeah.
I understand. My algorithm is just weird, but I think I
Same,
have heard about
same.
those videos of people complaining about being a mother, which is or motherhood, which is really weird because I mean there's certain situations where I guess you could become a mother, you would become a mother and not necessarily that was your plan.
Correct.
But
Correct.
I also I get maybe they feel that way and I'm not trying to side with them, but because they don't have a partner that is helping them. So they really feel like they're doing everything. And I could see
Yeah.
that. Like if they don't have someone there that's supporting them or they don't have a village or their little community,
Right.
everything falls on them. And so like when do you have free time? Or when do you have time to be who you were before you became a mother? So
Right.
I could kind of see that, but I think that's a problem for even people who do have partners,
Yeah. It
I
definitely
I
is. I
yeah.
think also like, and I was watching this interview with Cree Summer. I love Cree Summer, love her, because she's just so wacky and wise. Because she's just so wacky, but she's so wise. And she was talking about how, there, because she's biracial, she is Native American and Black, and she was
Okay.
saying that there is a tribe, of indigenous people who, when a woman is giving birth, and as soon as the process starts, the first blood starts for birth, they have this cloth. She bleeds on the cloth. They take the cloth out and they bury it, and it basically symbolizes that this is the old her, you know,
Ooh,
and that they mourn and they cry, like these are the women in this tribe, and then they
that's
mourn, they
interesting.
cry, they say goodbye, and when they come back they introduce themselves to her, because this woman is a new woman now.
Mhm.
Motherhood has made her something new, and I think that's one thing I see that's lacking, especially in Western culture. That one, there's a lack of community. There's a
Mhm.
lack of community, and there is this fear of letting go. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I want to get back to the size I was before I gave birth. I want to get back to da 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 before I was a mom. I want to get back to my whatever it was, before I got pregnant. And the thing is, I'm big about you learn from the past, but if you want to live in the past, you're never going to move towards your future. You're
Very
never
true.
going to be present. You're not the woman you were. And that's okay. And it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to mourn her, and it's okay to miss that person you were. But if you keep dwelling on who you used to be and trying to get back and do the time machine, you're never going to be in the present for who you are now, and that's never going to be who you want to be in the future. Like I
Yeah.
really feel like that's missing in Western culture. It really, really is. It's
Mm-hmm.
missing in Western culture. That's one of the reasons why I was so grateful that I had a doula when I had
Mm.
Yui, because we
Yeah.
really talked about that spiritual aspect of being now a mother of two. I was a mother of one. I'm no longer a mother of one. Even now, even with me losing a child, I won't say a child, but miscarrying, I can say, even though she's not here, I'm still a mother of three.
Mm.
I'm never gonna be the same Melinda I was before that happened. But I think it's also different stages of our lives. I feel like we want to hold on to that past so bad, and
Mm.
we lament and really don't say goodbye, and that's why people want to hold on to it so much.
That makes sense. I think, I don't need to go back in the past. I'm not trying to, no, let's move forward, and hope that it's better, bright rainbows and
Seems like you.
sunshine.
What?
No, I don't need to hold on to any. There is
What?
so much. There is stuff that is from the past that is still looming that I wish it
See
could just
what you
fly.
say? No, I don't.
No, no. Take it
No.
away with the yellow sand from China. Take it all away. Let it blow away. All of it.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
why she said I don't need no, I don't need to go
No,
back to the.
don't need to go. If I were to go back in the past, it would just be to tell myself to invest in
Oh,
some
that part,
Amazon stock or
that
something.
part,
That would be the
that
only
part.
reason. Let me tell you, I do
All the
not.
money tips. That's all I
Mm-mm.
need. Just all the money
That's
tips.
all.
Just give me all the money tips.
Yep.
All the money tips.
And maybe and I would tell myself, you don't need to buy that stupid shit. You have too much
Yeah.
stuff already.
But I'd be like, no, I was just worried about the money tips. Just
Yeah,
all
the
the
money
money
tips mostly.
tips. Just all the money
No,
tips.
don't need to go. But and I tell everyone this because I don't have any like pregnancy or maternity or motherly advice, like
Mm,
except for I think that you should be honest. I really do. Honesty is very big for me. I'd rather my feelings be hurt or, you know, just you give it to me straight. I don't like people who lie. I don't like, and it's a very easy to explain a white lie. Like, oh, that was different, when you eat something that maybe you didn't really like. That was unique. But I'm not gonna be like, yeah, it was so delicious, because then people will think that you like it, and it's a slippery slope. So for me, the advice that I always say is just be honest. Because I've had several friends that have gotten pregnant and asked me for advice, and I'm like, ooh, the best advice is no advice. Live your life. Everybody
yep.
learns. Everybody's different. Every
Yep.
pregnancy is different. But
Yep.
my ultimate thing is like when people say, do you enjoy being a mother? Is like it is the best job that I never wanted. Like I
Wanted.
never knew I wanted. I never knew I wanted. Because let me tell you, teaching children was the best birth control ever. You teach
Yeah.
them, you give them back to their parents. It was
Yeah.
amazing. But when I had my own kid, I realized, oh, I don't really want to teach other people's kids. I really love my kid the most.
Yep.
Like, it's like
Yep.
I'm really into this kid only. And then when I had my second, I'm really into these two kids. And then the select few of like my friends' kids that I've seen grow up over
Right.
the years. But yeah, no, it was a job I never wanted. My dream was not a wedding, was to travel and to design a house. That's what I was always drawing. I did not want to be a mother. My dad even says it to this day, like he is so surprised that I have kids, like, and that
Yeah.
I'm a mom, and that my kids aren't like, running around unclothed or, crazy heathens throwing stuff at people. so,
And you
so
know what?
yeah, so
You still gonna end up doing your dream. You still gonna end up traveling. You still
Yes,
gonna
yes.
end up
I
designing
definitely
that house.
yes.
You
Yeah,
really
I think
are. Like,
so.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna happen. Like, I think our dreams. I feel like a lot of times we always put a time stamp on them, and I've
Hmm.
kind of learned like no more time stamps. I'm like no more time
Yes, no
stamps.
more.
I'm just I'm gonna put it out there. I know it'll happen. It'll come eventually. Like, and when it does, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. Thank
Yeah.
you, God. So excited.
Facts, facts, facts. There doesn't have to be a timestamp on things. That is very true. So, I guess it's kind of fitting. I didn't even plan it that way because Mother's Day is
I
literally right
know.
around the corner.
Happy
I didn't even
Mother's
plan
Day,
it.
all you moms out there.
Yes. Moms, aunties,
Yep,
gay uncles,
yep,
all the village moms, the
yep.
neighborhood moms,
The
the town
neighborhood moms.
moms,
Yep,
the
adoptive mom, foster mom,
adopted moms. Yes.
mom, grandmom, who is the mom. Like all of y'all are amazing. We
The
celebrate you
dads that play the
just
role as a mom. Yeah,
right.
all of them.
Mothers who
Yeah.
want to be mothers, who wish they could be mothers. Like, we see you. We
Yes, for
celebrate you
real.
every day, not just on one day. You are
Yes,
celebrated every day because it's a hard goddamn job, and
it
you do it
is.
well. Well, not all of y'all, but most of y'all do it well.
You said not all of y'all,
Not all
but
of
most
y'all.
of y'all.
Not all of y'all.
So I guess if we had like an okazu of what we were going to talk about today, I literally like with Mother's Day, I guess okay, two different things. One is like, do you have something that you do for yourself or that your kids do for you that sticks out or that has stuck out in your mind from the past or the present and the future?
For Mother's Day,
Yeah.
no, no. My
Okay.
kids are still young. They never really do anything. I think my son
I
did.
wonder if Messiah is listening.
He don't ever
Mother's Day is right
But,
around the
but
corner.
let me tell you, my daughter, she'll put in more effort than my son will, which I find
Okay.
very interesting. But
Mm.
I'm not expecting anything because
Yeah.
they're 15 and 10. It's like,
Right.
so no, nothing's really stuck out yet. But again, for me, I know eventually once they become adults,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I'm excited for Mother's Day because they can actually really give me a Mother's Day that I deserve. Like I want vacation. I want trip to
Ooh.
the spa. I want, the
I
five
feel bad
course
because I
meal.
don't know
Like
if I've done that for my own mother, like
that's
on
what I
Mother's Day.
that's what I want. I have expensive mother taste. I've earned it. I've earned it. But yeah, that's really it. Like there's nothing really that sticks out of my mind. But like I said, I know eventually it'll come. My kids too
Mm-hmm.
little. They too small. They ain't got
Yeah,
no jobs. I'm like, what you
it's
gonna do? I'm
true.
like, yeah, I like the little handprint. This is cute, but I have 15 years of all the handprint. Like, yeah, oh, okay. Thank you.
Her
Thank you.
macaroni necklaces and
I appreciate the I appreciate it. Thank
mm-hmm,
you.
mm-hmm.
But no, mommy want a massage. Mommy
Oh
want a facial. Mommy
yes.
want a pedicure.
There's a
Mommy
clip I
want
saw going around on the internet, which was like a news reporter, maybe back in the day, and she was
yeah
like, "What mothers want for Mother's Day," and she's like, "They just want to be left the fuck alone."
yeah
Like she said it by accident, but I kind of do. I really
yep
do look forward to like peace and quiet time.
quiet time
Nobody,
yeah
nobody asking me for anything. Nobody
yeah
saying I need me to sign something or look at something or
yeah.
this isn't working. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I guess the other thing I wanted to ask is like a memory of your mother or something interesting about your mother.
So my mom, she she is and has always been like queen of the 80s. That always has stood out
Mm.
with me, how fashionable my mother always was.
You
um
said that a lot, yeah.
even now, like even with her disabilities and whatnot, she's still gonna make sure to put only one arm is working, y'all. She gonna make sure that eyebrow pencil or put it on. She gonna put that makeup on. she is just, that's something in her. She just has always been so fashionable and so stylish. Like, you know, we talked about it the other day. It's like I can't come up with fashion on my own. My mother can, you know, but like
Mm,
she could come up with a look. I remember being little and like she would watch Style with Elsa Clinch, and there would be stacks of Vogue and Harper's Bazaar, and like she just
mm.
fashion queen. She is the Met Gala. You know, she is Vogue. She is Fashion Week. Like that's my mom. So that will always be in the back of my mind. She just, you know, she's style. She's
I
fabulous.
remember you always saying that she had really good style
Yeah.
and she could always put something together that, you were like, I wouldn't have thought of that, but it
Never,
works.
never would have thought of it.
Mm,
Yeah. What about
interesting.
you?
My mom is very interesting. She has a lot of secrets, which I've discovered as I've gotten older. Not bad secrets, but just like things that I didn't know about her growing up because I thought she was very just like straight and just boring and just uninteresting. But she was very active in a lot of human rights
Oh, I
events
love
and
that.
issues growing up. She was very active in a lot of Black rights,
Oh, I love
very
that.
knowledgeable about just Black history, Native American history. And it's just like, oh, sometimes when I talk to my mom, I'm like, I didn't know that about you. And she's like, yeah, well, I mean, maybe you
I,
don't know everything about me. She's like, or she'd be like, you never
right.
asked. And I'm like, well, how would I know to ask? you know so I think that's something I really like about her, but also she has this amazing memory about events and
Uh-huh.
like people's birthdays. And it's a little funny because growing up with my grandmother on my dad's side, on my grandma Marie, we used to call her Saint Marie because she was always Catholic, but she was always giving stuff to people. Like she would go to the store and find something, like some little something. She'd be like, "Oh, this is from Melinda. Melinda likes to write, and this is a notebook that has M on it." And she hasn't seen Melinda in 3 years, but she's gonna buy that dollar notebook with the M on it because she
Right.
knows, you know. And so she was always like that, and it kind of became a not a problem, but it became like cumbersome at the end because she had so much stuff
Stuff.
as she got older.
Yeah.
She knew where everything was and she would go in her house and find it, but it just became a lot of stuff. And I remember that thinking that, oh, when my mother would visit her, like she would be annoyed at all the
Yeah.
stuff that she had in her house and
Yeah.
how she'd be like, wait, you can't leave. I have this bag of stuff that I've been collecting for you. And it would just be all sorts of just random things, but it was nice stuff. My mom, and this is not her mom, this is my dad's mom. My mom has become that person that like sends you a care package
Right.
out of the blue, or you go to her house and she's gonna be like, wait, I have something that I bought for you like 6 months ago. And it'll be
Right.
like maybe Christmas decorations with the kids' names on it. And it's not even Christmas, but she's been holding it for you. So I really do like that about my mom, even though sometimes it could be a bit much. It's the thought of someone else thinking about you in that moment that's
Yeah.
unexpected that really means a lot. So I love that about my mom. I really do. Um, and I think that's one of the great things about her is that she does think a lot about other people. My grandmother was like that too. And I just think it's funny, but it's kind of awesome in that sense. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it. And like I said, she got secrets. Like I didn't know.
Oof.
Oh, you went to a Black Panther party? I didn't know that. Like, oh, you were
Secret.
doing this, or you were rallying for this in your college. It's very interesting to hear those things because I think for me at least, I always just saw my mom as just like rules
Right.
and like I didn't know for the longest that she had been a school teacher.
Aw.
And I had no idea about that, or that she was she had went to school and got a dietarian license. And so as time went on, like, and I started putting the puzzles together, oh, I was like, oh, this is why she did this, or this is why she would say that, and that makes sense now. So
Mm.
yeah, so I kind of take some of that stuff and do it with my own kids.
Aw.
Like, you don't need to eat all that candy. You don't know all the sugar count that's in that. You do not need to eat that. You don't know red number 5, yellow number whatever. You don't know.
Right. All the
Yeah.
dyes.
All the dyes, you
All the
know.
dyes. Well,
But
that's it
yeah,
for
so
now, guys. That's
I wasn't
it.
really planning
Like
to
we
go down
said,
this route, but this is the route that we went down.
we did. We went down this route, and that's it. As always, you guys, thank you so very
Yes.
much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all of it. We see it. We thank you. We appreciate it. Again, happy Mother's
Yes.
Day this weekend. You're
And
celebrated
definitely
again.
thank those people while
Yes.
they're here
Yes,
because
please give
life
them
is
their
short.
flowers. I literally
Hmm.
just sent some to my mom and my grandmother today. So, um, give people their flowers while they can smell them.
Yes. Yes.
While they here, while they can see them, while they can smell them and touch them, and give them to
Yeah,
them now.
that's true.
Give them to them now. All right, you
Yeah.
guys. Till next week, we will see you then. Bye.
Yes. Bye.